Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. Now, before we get on with this week's Throwback Tunes episode, I would like to apologize. Last week, I gave y'all 4 choices as far as which album I should do as in a theme of Biggie's successors, or potential successors rather. After Biggie died, after I reviewed 2 of Biggie's albums. And the choices were Nas with Stillmatic, Nas with Illmatic, Jay-Z with The Blueprint, and Jay-Z with Reasonable Doubt. And here's the problem. Nas' Illmatic won, but what I forgot when I gave those choices out and created the polls was that I already reviewed Nas' Illmatic, which is my 45th episode actually. So, and I was when I was doing this, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I reviewed that album, and I looked for it and I couldn't find it. I found God's Son, and I found it was written, and I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't. But then I looked again because it was still nagging me, and I actually found it. It was episode 45. So, yeah, there's no point of me doing this one since I did already. So I went with the one that finished in second place, which was The Blueprint by Jay-Z. So with that out the way, let's get straight into it. Now, The Blueprint is Jay-Z's 6th studio album. And check out this date. Check out this release date. This release date, the release date for this album, 2001, September 11th. Yes, the same day when the terrorists came and crashed those airplanes on the Twin Towers, where they attacked DC with a plane, and then they crashed another plane out in, I think it was in, where was it at? I knew it was in Pennsylvania, but either it was in Pittsburgh, it was in Philly, it was in the middle of nowhere, like in some grassy field somewhere. So yeah, they crashed like 4 airplanes on that same day, around the same time, on that day. And on that day, this album dropped. So, yeah. And this was like, I just started my senior year. So, yeah, that was crazy. That was really crazy. But anywho, this album was released under Rockefeller and Def Jam, obviously. And the executive producers were Jay-Z, obviously, Dame Dash, obviously, and Kareem Biggs Burke, obviously. Other producers was involved like Kanye West, Just Blaze, Trackmasters, Timbaland, Bink, and Eminem, obviously. And that is it. Yes, that is it. Now, moving on. This album, believe it or not, was released a week earlier than initially planned in order to combat bootlegging. So, yeah. Contrasting the radio-friendly sound of Jay-Z's previous work, The Blueprint features soul-based sampling and production handled primarily by Kanye West. You know, I already mentioned all the producers, so yeah. Now, at the time of the album's recording, which was recorded in July 2001, I'll get more on that later. At the time of the album's recording, Jay-Z was awaiting 2 criminal trials, one for gun possession and another for assault. It had been, at the time, one of hip-hop/rap's most dissed artists, receiving insults from rappers such as Nas, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, and Jadakiss. The album is also famous for both its producers, Kanye West and Just Blaze, breakouts as major producers. Kanye produced 5 of the 13 tracks on this album, including the songs Izzo, H-O-V-A, or H to the Izzo, and the controversial Takeover. And we'll get more on that much later. Just Blaze, meanwhile, produced 3 tracks, Girls, 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 Part 1, Song Cry, and You Don't Know. Also including the hidden bonus track, Breathe Easy, and in parentheses, Lyrical Exercise. More on that later. Upon its release, The Blueprint received universal acclaim, with critics praising Jay-Z's lyricism in the production. It is considered one of Jay-Z's best albums, true, and has been labeled as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Ooh, I'll get more on that later. Now, let me give you a little bit of background info. Now, Now this is contrast to what I read earlier. Remember I said how the blueprint was pushed ahead a week early? We're here, excuse me. The blueprint was reportedly cut in 2 weeks, with Jay-Z allegedly writing the lyrics in 2 days. So that's pretty crazy. So yeah, there you go with that. Now let's get on with the tracks. Now this is gonna be very interesting. Okay, it's right. If you got the actual CD like I do, there's 13 tracks. But here's the thing: that 13 track have 3 songs. Now if you download this off of YouTube, iTunes has split up those 3 tracks, making it 15. So, and y'all know me, if it's less than 15, I can only do a top 3. If it's more than 15, then I'll do a top 5. Now, in the past, there has been scenarios where I reviewed an album that had a track that had 2 songs in one track or whatever, something like that. Here we have 3, so I'm gonna break them up. Meaning we're gonna have 15 tracks. Meaning I can give you a top 5. The first track is called "The Ruler's Back," followed by "Takeover." More on that later. Next on the track is "Izzo," and in parentheses HOVA, the abbreviations. Again, more of that later. Track number 4 is called "Girls, Girls, Girls." Again, more of that later. Followed by "Jigga That Nigga," and again, more of that later. Track number 6 is called "You Don't Know," followed by "Hola Jovito." Track number 8 is called "Heart of the City," and in parentheses "Ain't No Love." Track number 9 is called "Never Change," followed by "Song Cry." More on that later. Track number 11 is called "All I Need," followed by "Renegade" featuring Eminem. And you guessed it, more on that later. Then track number 13 is called "Blueprint," and in parentheses "Mama Love Me." Mama Loves Me, excuse me. Then we get to the hidden tracks. Track number 14, quote unquote, is called "Breathe Easy," and in parentheses "Lyrical Exercise," followed by "Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2," where the Part 2 part was in parentheses. So, 6 of these tracks got a little bit of information here. So let's get on to the one. The first track that was released off of this album, "Takeover," obviously. So, "Takeover" was the first official LP diss track to publicize directly the hip-hop Jay-Z and versus Nas view. Although there exist several other rap records prior to this featuring disses from both Nas and Jay-Z towards each other. It samples the song 5 to 1 by The Doors and Sound of the Police by KRS-One. The first line in this song is taken from Jay-Z's verse in Celebration off of The Streets Is Watching soundtrack. Now, in the second verse, Jay-Z, in case you never heard Takeover, Jay-Z was throwing shots at Prodigy, who was a member of Mobb Deep, and basically accused him of taking ballerina classes as a child and mocked Prodigy's small stature. And he dismisses Mobb Deep, the group, as competition in the hip-hop industry by pointing out that his career had more commercial success than they ever would, and dissing Mobb Deep's famous song "Suck One's Part 2." And of course, Mobb Deep will reply to Jay-Z in the LP diss track, but their rivalry has more or less been overshadowed by the rivalry between Nas and Jay-Z, obviously. Now, in the third verse, which has 32 bars, while the other verses has 16, Jay-Z ridicules Nas' his albums at the time consisting of 4 albums, and claiming Nas has a 1 hot album every 10-year average. And I ain't gonna get into it, man. You just gotta listen to it yourself. And I ain't gonna get into the rivalry because it goes into the rivalry as well. So, yeah, there you go with that. This is not a single, but this is the first track that was played off of the album. And it was played at, what was it? Summer Jam? I think that was called Summer Jam 97 or something like that. I forgot when this song was played, but the entire song wasn't played there. So yeah, there you go with that. Now let's move on to an actual single off this album. H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. Yeah, Izzo, and in parentheses, HOVA. This is the first single, came out August 21st, 2001, 3 days after my birthday. And it is among his most popular singles. And it reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. And it was Jay-Z's first top 10 single as a lead artist. Kanye West used a sample of I Want You Back by the Jackson 5, which is the second major hit in 2001 to sample that song after My Baby by Little Romeo. So, yeah, there you go with that. Let's get on with the charts. Like I said, it was number 8 in the US Billboard Hot 100. Number 4 on the US Billboard Hot R&B/hip-hop singles and tracks. Number 7 in the US Billboard Rap singles. It was 69th in the Dutch singles. That number. It was 3rd on the Swiss singles and 21st in the UK singles. Now, there you go with that. Moving on to the second single, which is called Girls, 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 Girls. Okay, that's one girl too many. But so you get the point. It's called Girls, Girls, Girls. And this one came out October 2nd, 2001. And it contains a sample of There's Nothing in This World That Can Stop Me From Loving You by Tom Brock. That's a long title. The chorus features a lyrical interpolation of High Power Rap by Crash Crew. And it also added vocals by Q-Tip, Slick Rick, and Biz Markie, but they are not credited as featured guests on the back artwork. They are, however, credited in the album's liner notes, And there's a remix for this one, or a part 2 rather. And that's at the last track off this entire album. And that was like a hidden track. And I already explained that already. So I ain't gonna get more into it. Now then, it was 17th on the US Billboard Hot 100, 4th on the US Billboard Hot R&B/hip-hop singles and tracks, and 9th in the US Billboard Rap singles. Moving on to the third single. I'm surprised this was a single, really. It's called Jigga Dat Nigga. It came out January 29th, 2002. And it features additional vocals from Stephanie Miller and Michelle Mills, but they are not credited as featuring. And it was 66 on the US Billboard Hot 100, 27th on the US Hot R&B/hip-hop songs, and 7th on the US Hot Rap songs. Now, the fourth single, and this is the last single, is called Song Cry. Now, most of you should know this one. Now, I will admit, this song also appeared on the 2001 live album, Jay-Z Unplugged. This was when MTV did their Unplugged concert thing, and they had a lot of artists on the show, and I guess wherever was on the show, they made an album out of it. So they did so with Jay-Z. Now, the Song Cry off of that was so much better than the one off the Blueprint. Crap, that music, that beat was dope. How it ended was dope, man. Wow, boy. But we ain't talk about that version. We talk about the original version, which was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Male Rap Solo Performance, but lost to Hot in Her by Nelly. Crap, you know. But in an interview with Bill Maher, how you pronounce that last name, and before I get into that, this single came out May 8th, 2002, Jay-Z stated, going back to the interview, that this song was actually inspired by 3 different relationships he had in the past, and he wrote about his different experiences all together in different verses. So, yeah, there you go with that. And it was 45th on the US Billboard Hot R&B/hip-hop singles and tracks. And that's it. That really is it. Now, the other song we're going to talk about is Renegade, which is obviously a Jay-Z song, but it features Eminem. And which is weird because this one came out September 24th, 2001. And originally, there's some backstory with this one. Originally, it was a collaboration between Eminem and Royce the 5'9" as part of the Bad Meets Evil series. Now, y'all eventually heard about that, like a later version of that. But Royce was later replaced by Jay-Z. The original can be found on mixtapes and has leaked onto the internet. Now, the Jay-Z version of the song, released in 2001 as featured on the Blueprint, was later included as a bonus track on the deluxe edition of Eminem's 2005 Greatest Hits album, currently called The Hits. The song was referenced by Nas on his famous diss record, Ether, made during the rivalry between Nas and Jay-Z, basically saying that Eminem murdered you on your own shit. So, yeah, there you go with that. And if memory serves me correctly, I believe Royce, and I'm getting off top here, Royce the 5'9" and Eminem, the reason why this song or that original version wasn't used or anything like that, I think they were beefing. And this was doing a bad time because Proof got shot, and Jay Dilla got shot, and Blade Icewood got shot. It was like the Detroit underground music scene back then was all messed up. It was all messed up. So yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why Toy Soldiers came out. But again, I was getting off topic. So yeah, there you go with Renegade. It did not make the charts or anything like that, but it was still a good track. Now speaking of good tracks, let me give you my favorite tracks from the bottom on up. All these tracks on here are good and I love them all, but I gotta start from the bottom. And the bottom is Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2, followed by Hola Jovito. Next up is Blueprint, Mama Loves Me, followed by Izzo, H-O-V-A. Moving on up again, Jigga That Nigga, followed by Renegade featuring Eminem. And that was the only track to feature anybody. Or, well, let me rephrase that. That was the only track to feature anybody, and that got credit. Moving on. Next up is the original Girls, 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 followed by All I Need, and then Song Cry, and then Never Change. I really like those two tracks, but like I said, the unplugged version of Song Cry, that would be number one for me, though, if that was on this album. But it's on the unplugged version, which I recommend you go check out. Now, let me give you my top 5 tracks off this album. Number 5, The Ruler's Back. I like this one because it got that superhero-like theme, like when either the hero shows up to take on the main villain, or he just transforms into something outrageously powerful or something, especially at the hook. When he goes like, the ruler's back. When that trumpet, yeah, that is a trumpet. When that trumpet shows up, man, that sounds dope to me, dog. Number 4 is You Don't Know. And that's one of those, headbangers right there, dog. And there is a remix featuring what is it? M.O.P. And that one was dope as well, dog. And at the time, I think M.O.P. was part of Rockefeller when the remix came out. But the original was really dope as well, man. I really like that one. Number 3 is Breathe Easy, lyrical exercise. And come on, dog. Obviously, the lyricists of all these are dope, but that beat was really, really nice, dog. Number 2, Heart of the City, Ain't No Love. That beat is smooth, man. Like, it ain't exactly nighttime currency smooth or anything like that, but it's still smooth nevertheless, though. It's like that daytime smooth moment. So yeah, I really like that one right there. And then number 1, come on now, it's Takeover. The lyricism in Takeover is crazy. He throwing shots at Mobb Deep and Nas, who are amongst my favorites, by the way. But despite that, Takeover, dope as heck, man. The lyricism was crazy with that one. Now, before I get on with the professional reviews, let me give you some charts for the album, which I haven't done yet until now. It was number 3 on the Canadian album charts, 51st on the Dutch album charts, 73rd on the French albums charts, 55th on the German albums charts, 36th on the Norwegian album charts, 30th on the Swedish album charts, 59th on the Swiss album charts, and 30th on the UK album charts, number 1 on the US Billboard 200, and number 1 on the US top R&B/hip hop albums. Let's see. By the end of the year, it was 52nd on the US Billboard 200. And while it was platinum out in Canada, selling over 100,000 copies, it sold the same amount of copies in the UK, but they called it gold. But in the United States, it sold over 2 million copies making it double platinum. Now, let me give you guys some professional ratings. Metacritic gave it 88 out of 100. AllMusic gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Blender gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Entertainment Weekly gave it a B-. Los Angeles Times gave it 3 out of 4 stars. NME gave it 8 out of 10. Pitchfork gave it 8.7 out of 10. Rolling Stones gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Uncut gave it 5 out of 5 stars. USA Today gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And The Village Voice, and I'm kind of losing mine, gave it an A-. So, and this album was ranked 464th on Rolling Stones magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. And when it revisited this list in 2012, because originally that list was done in 2003, this album was ranked number 252. So it moved up. So, what do I rate this album? What do I think about this album? Well, let me clear the air right now. Some people say that this is Jay-Z's best album. No, that is Reasonable Doubt, followed by Volume 2, and then it's Volume 1. Is it fourth? I don't know. It's between that and the Black Album. Because the Black Album was really good as well. But regarding this album, I would have to give it a 4.25 out of 5 stars. A lot of great tracks. The lyricism of every single track off of this album, top notch, without question, far none, top notch. But there was this is like one of those albums that I don't like. If I was to go back and listen to old Jay-Z's albums, this would not be one of the ones. If I were to hear somebody else listen to the album, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's listen to this. But this one in particular, like if I was doing it, no, not really. Like I would pick others over this one. So 4.2, it's like it got a lot of great songs, but none of the songs are legendary. Commercially success, yeah, that Ace to the Izzo joint, yeah, but nothing on here screams Dead Presidents, Part 1 or Part 2, Politics as Usual, anything like that. So again, it's still a great album, and I recommend that you have a physical copy of this album because it is a classic, but none of the tracks on here by themselves are classics. Now again, if they use Song Cry off of Jay-Z Unplugged on here, that would be a whole different story. Yes, they are the same. There is, and the beat are similar, but still, though, that one, the beat done in that one is so much better than the original. So yeah, 4.25 out of 5 stars. You should have a physical copy of this album in your collection. Now, originally I had plans on whichever artist won. I was gonna let you choose on which artist I was gonna let you vote on that associated with the winning artist. So if Nas would have won, it would have been somebody from The Firm, Cormega, Noriega, Foxy Brown, and so forth, whatnot. Or in this case, if Jay-Z would have won, I would have done Freeway, Memphis Bleak, Beanie Siegel, and somebody else. I don't know who. Probably DJ Clue. I don't know. But I actually got a request. So shout out to Marquise Flores, who made a request on my last week's video. I'm not going to say what it is. If you watch the video, you should know what it is. But if you haven't, then go watch it right now. So yeah, again, I'm going to fill out the request. And then after that, I'm going to let y'all vote on which Rockefeller artist I should review, unless I get another request. Then that'll be a different story. But yeah, there you go with that, man. Y'all know who this is. This is the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.